Spark Books here. Today, I'm going to explain the book, How to Read a Book, by Mortimer J. Adler and Charles Van Doren. Take care, enjoy the book, and have a nice day. Since How to Read a Book was first published in 1940, the blank sheet of paper that faces you when you start an essay or report has been replaced by the blinking cursor in a blank Word document. No matter, this classic bestseller, revised in 1972, is still a great guide to tackling a long reading list, extracting all the relevant information and organizing your own conclusions. Be the boss of books with this effective approach to reading and understanding texts of all kinds. Key idea number 1. Read actively and follow some fundamental reading rules to get more from books. Do you read whenever you can? Reading for pleasure doesn't require any changes. However, we sometimes read for information rather than pleasure. Let's first define an effective reader before discussing how to do this. Basics first. First, reading is active. Like a ball game, one party tosses and the other has to catch it. The catcher, or reader, must work to understand what the author, who throws the ball, is saying. You can't be lazy and expect all the important knowledge to come to you. If you want to become a skilled reader, you must practice the abilities required. If you practice and know the rules, you can catch a ball. How do you improve your reading? Master reading from simple to complex. The sparkles below will show you how. Key idea number 2. Before analyzing a book, you must understand its grammar and terminology. Remember reading The Cat Sat on the Mat in elementary school? You unknowingly started learning fundamental reading. Elementary reading involves deciphering and understanding material. What does the sentence say? When learning to read, youngsters link symbols on a page to sounds to construct words and sentences. They can then understand the phrase's main meaning.
They know that the letters C, A, and T sound like they do in the word cat, that this word is connected to others to form the sentence "the cat sat on the mat," and that this sentence corresponds to the visual of a cat sitting.
Isn't this obvious? This talent is essential to interpreting all writings. If you don't understand words and sentences, you won't be able to comprehend a book's substance. Imagine reading a cat book without knowing the word. Senseless. Next time you study a book, make sure you comprehend all the basics. Key idea number 3. Inspectional reading. Skim read a book to determine if it's worth examining. Have you ever brought a book home and found it disappointing? You should have done some inspectional reading first. Inspectional reading answers what is this book about, and what kind of book is this? It helps you understand a book quickly. Why inspect the book? Well, unless you read a book in full, you don't know if it will help you. Inspectional reading allows you to determine if you want to read more before borrowing or buying it. First, inspect certain areas of the book. Skim reading it. Skim read the title page, table of contents, and editor's blurb in order. Skip to relevant chapters and paragraphs from here. These steps make it easier to decide if the book is right. If not, trash. If the book is for you, you can read it superficially. Ignore details and stuff you don't comprehend on your first read. This way, you won't ruin reading by searching up words in the dictionary and reading footnotes. Shakespeare discourages many high school pupils since they must check all the footnotes and search up every word they don't understand. Knowing what the material is about before reading it again will help you understand the harder parts. Key idea number 4. Analytical reading. First, determine the book's core theme and author's goal. Analyze a book you know well. Analytical reading resembles eating a book. First, determine the book's genre and how its topics relate. Classifying a book is vital since its topic affects its themes. If the book is theoretical, you know the logic will be abstract compared to a how-to book. Math books don't give life advice like self-help books. When you're reading the book's harder parts, remember its major purpose. Look at a book's title or language to classify it quickly. A practical book may use should or ought to. History books with titles like The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire are obvious. After classifying the book, read it. Identify the plot and how the themes relate at this time. In a few phrases, summarize its story and identify its themes and subplots. The Odyssey's storyline is the tortured homecoming of a Greek hero to his hometown, and its framework is 1. Odysseus leaves the island of Calypso. 2. His son sets out to find him, etc. Like an X-ray, this book analysis examines the plot to determine its nature, then examine its flesh structure and subplots. Key idea number 5. Know the writer. Authors sell ideas, thus we need to understand their basic terminology and arguments to evaluate their work. Finding the text's main ideas is the best approach to do this. First, identify and comprehend essential terms. Textbooks commonly underline or bold significant terms, making them easy to find. The author may define them early on. Look at the surrounding words to comprehend crucial words and terms. These in context will clarify their significance. After finishing the terms, you can start identifying the author's message by finding the text premises and how they are constructed into arguments. A proposition is a query, information, or opinion. These are in crucial sentences and contain notable terms. Arguments are summarized in propositions. However, propositions aren't defined. The reader must understand the argument and recognize its main points. Rewrite these important statements to check your comprehension. After that, find out how they are related and structured. Does the second proposition logically follow the first? Did the author give examples first or their primary point? These procedures will clarify what is said and how. Key idea number 6, analyze a book's relevance and logic. Understanding the author's concepts lets you evaluate the content. Book analysis concludes here. Is it true? What does it mean? To answer these questions, you must critically analyze the content and criticize it fairly. If you don't understand the author's point or get too emotional, you can't critique. If the argument is strong, you can agree with the author. However, disagree if you have good reasons. The author may be misled. Darwin's Origin of Species. The writer's misunderstanding of genetics and inheritance mechanics, found after he wrote the book, is fair game here. Illogical reasoning is another critique. If an author contradicts themselves in the book. Thomas Hobbes's classic philosophical book Elements of Law begins by stating that matter has no odor, taste, color, or other properties. Hobbes later writes that mankind are bodies of matter with attributes, contradicting the author's initial claim. Incomplete arguments or failure to address the text's initial issues can also create holes. Key idea number 7, syntopical reading. Read numerous books on the same topic at once. You'll use many books to prepare a class essay. Syntopical reading is the top-level method. Syntopical reading entails reading multiple books on the same topic at once. Reading this technique requires you to determine the topic you wish to write about and select relevant passages. How do we proceed? Inspectional and analytical reading produce syntopical reading. Look through titles, covers, and indices to find books for your essay. After reading, analyze. For an essay, you must comprehend what different authors say about a topic and how it develops in literature. To understand the ideas better, this takes more analysis. Syntopical reading investigates your topic, not a book's. You're answering a question and forming an opinion on a topic with multiple viewpoints. Unlike analytical reading, a complete picture of the book is unnecessary. Just read the necessary passages. Key idea number 8, adapt the rules to different genres and get advice when needed. The previous advice is effective for approaching a new text. Each genre, or even book, is its own planet. Thus, naively following the regulations is unwise. Apply rules with common sense. Each genre has different structures and goals. Novels and ethics texts have different so what? Questions. A novel's moral depends on the reader's experience and impression. Each genre has different structure. Philosophy texts, for instance, have a clear argument sequence. History texts analyze historical events. Besides adapting rules to genres, occasionally reading the book isn't enough to understand it. Use your experience in other books in this scenario. For instance, one author's books may build on earlier concepts. This means you'll only understand the book if you know its background from previous literature. American Constitution. The 18th century Enlightenment inspired it. Thus, Montesquieu and Rousseau must be studied to understand the pursuit of happiness. Active reading is the best way to comprehend books, especially those for school. To view more content like this, subscribe. Don't forget to like and turn on notifications. The channel really benefits from it. I appreciate you being here.